Hey guys, update for all of you with respect to the cat pattern. This is Arun Sharma, and you're on my Arun Sharma Mindworks channel. The big update. Let me share that with a screenshot or a screen share with you. The big update is coming from mbauniverse.com, and it says that basically it says, to put it in short, that if you look at the IIMs officially trying to announce, or what the IIMs are officially saying, they are not going to give us the number of questions for the cat. They're actually not going to give you the number of questions that are going to come in the cat before the D-Day. So this year is going to be a year where you are going to go into the exam and you're going to find out there and then how many questions they are going to be. So what are my thoughts on that is something that I wanted to talk to you about. And so I want to present to you or talk to you about five major points which come to my mind when we talk about a change like this in the cat. My first reaction, and five major things that I'm going to talk about here. My first reaction is, so what? They're not going to tell me the number of questions, but that's an equal level playing field, isn't it? It's not that I don't know and he knows and she knows. It's nobody knows. So how does it make a difference? First of all, and second of all, I come from a time or I've been following the cat from a time when it has been, been or built its reputation of being a surprising exam. And during the 90s, for your information, they would not even tell you how many sections they're going to ask you. So imagine giving the cat 1996 paper, and cat 92, 93, 94, 95 had 4 sections in the exam. And suddenly you enter the paper exam and you open your test paper and you find that there are 2 sections in 2 hours. And I mean, forget the number of questions. Number of questions तो नहीं बताते थे वो लोग. Number of they would not even tell you the number of sections. So 96, 97 were 2 section exams. CAT 98, people enter the CAT 98 prepared for a 2 section exam, and they open the test paper, find it's a 3 section exam. Of course, it's remained 3 sections, but the number of questions kept varying. Sometimes it would be 175, sometimes it would be 180, sometimes it would be 165, then 150. Then it settled at 150 for some time. So they would never tell you that. It's just that they've become a little bit more polite these last few years, and been telling you exactly how many questions you'll face. But this is not such a big tragedy if they're not telling you this. So there's no need to panic. That's my first point. Second point. So how do you strategize? I mean, this year is pretty much going to be. I'm sitting inside the cat. I before the test paper starts, I read the instructions, and I find out how many questions there are. So how should I define my strategy? And that's my second point. So please remember, an exam like the CAT has always been a 50 to 60% net score game exam, right? So it's been true right through. When the CAT would give you 180 questions in 2 hours, you needed to score a net score of 100, 110 to be amongst the toppers. When the CAT came down to 150 questions, you needed to score around 75 net score out of 150 marks, basically. When the CAT moved into 90 questions, 4 marks per question, the net scores that would get a top percentile would be around or 360 marks. 180 plus would be a great score. In fact, 45, 47%, maybe you would get a 99 percentile score. So when the CAT is going to become whatever it's going to do right now, when you enter the CAT and you see the number of questions and you finally realize that this is the number of questions, it can be anywhere between 60 to 75, as I'm going to talk to you about. So you define how many marks are you playing for, and then you define how many marks are you playing for in each section, then and there, and define a 50% threshold. And then on your good sections, try to get as close to 70%. You'll be safe. You'll be pretty safe. You'll in fact be topping the exam if you do that. I'm talking about net score. And second, on the weaker sections, try to make sure that you get to a 40% kind of net score. Or if 40% is not possible for you, try to get as close to 30% as possible, so that you don't miss out on the sectional qualifyings. So that'll be your game. So if you find, for instance, I'm just trying to show you, tell you one possibility. You enter the exam, you find 24 questions, 20 questions, and 24 questions in the 3 sections. So verbal ability, 24 questions, 3 marks each. Forget 3 marks each. Think about it as 1 mark each. You are looking at 24 marks with a minus 0.33 negative. So you are aiming for 12 to be on a normal 99 kind of percentile score. If you score 12, you'll be good. If you get close to 60-70%, if you score 14-15 questions out of 25, you would be great, right? If you score 9-10 questions out of 24, you'd still be okay, right? So that's how you define it. Data interpretation, first focus on getting through 2 sets, perhaps a third set, 3 sets maybe, for the toppers. The absolute toppers will do 4 sets in 40 minutes, but you try to get down to 3 sets in 40 minutes. Or if it's a weaker section, then make sure that you at least do 2 sets, because then that you'll be at the 40% mark. At the 40% mark, you'll get a 96, 97, 98 percentile in the exam net score, right? And same thing with quants. If it's a 24 question exam, 72 marks, let me illustrate a 3 mark calculation. 72 marks, try to get to 36 net score, right? After your negative subtractions, try to get to 36. You'll be good. At 36, you will be somewhere in the 95, 98 percentile range in the quant section. And if you can try to get closer to the 70% mark, around 45, 50, if you start hitting the 50s, you will be pretty much a 99.9, 99.95. That last digit will be the only thing you'll be bothered about. 99.9 kitna hai, how much after that, right? So that's my second point. So remember this, there's always going to be a 50-60% net score game, right? So remember that. As far as the number of questions, of course, if you bring it down further, bring it down to 10 questions overall, then it becomes ridiculous. But in a decent number of question range, the CAT is always a 50-60% net score game. The third one, obviously, what is your strategy for the next 60 days? Take mock tests, take 2-hour mock tests on the new pattern. And we are bringing the Arun Sharma CAT challenge during this period. 25 tests, personally curated by me on the latest pattern. 60 to 75 minutes questions. It will be the range in which most probably CAT is going to be. But you need to be prepared. Make sure you take a lot of tests in that range, but be prepared for any eventuality. I mean, if the CAT does a 100-question test, small possibility, but if it does a 100-question test, what can we say? We cannot say anything to IIM Indore ki aisa kyun kiya. So I have to be ready for it, right? So just like in life, you have to be ready for all eventualities. You have to be ready in these cases, for your specific eventuality of anything that can happen in the exam. What you have to do is react better than other people, right? Remember that famous story: two friends going in the jungle. Both of them see a tiger, and one of them starts tying his shoelaces. The other friend says, "What are you trying to do? Are you seriously thinking that you can outrun the tiger?" And the other friend, who's more wiser, says that I'm not trying to outrun the tiger. I just have to outrun you, and I'm fine. So remember that's always the structure of the space, kind of space you are in a competitive exam. That's point number 3. And hence point number 4, the fourth major point I want to talk to you about. On the D-Day, make sure that you are going in with an open mind. Don't get shocked with a 100-question exam. Don't get shocked with a 120-question exam. Remember, CAT has been 120 minutes, 180 questions. Also, of course, the quality of questions would be a speed test. And hence, I tell people that you should prepare. If the exam is easy, it will become a speed test. If the questions are easy, it will become a speed test. It should work to your advantage. Your preparation should be such that if it becomes a speed test, it should become an advantage. If it becomes a very tough test where only the ability to solve questions is going to make you through, you should be ready. It should be to your advantage. It should be like if you remember the Indian cricket teams of the 90s, they would win all their matches on spinning pitches, but they did not know how to play on bouncy pitches, right? And of course, in the last 5-7 years, the great people who are running the Indian cricket team are now showing India how to play on bouncy pitches. So the Indian cricket team has moved from advantage on a spinning pitch, huge disadvantage on a bouncy pitch, to advantage on all kind of pitches. They have the arsenal to create advantage on all kind of pitches. You need to do the same thing. You need to do exactly the same thing. Get an advantage on everything the cat might throw at you. Throws a easy paper, throws a paper which is built on only speed. Because if the paper is easy, the differentiation between the top guys and the normal guys becomes how many questions you solved. It's speed. While if the paper is tough, just the ability to solve is enough to create the differentiation. I can solve, you can't solve. I have a competitive advantage. In a paper where everybody can solve everything because the questions are easy, that used to be the pattern earlier in the CAT, late 90s. 160 questions 2 hours, 170 questions 2 hours, right? So in even in such situations, my focus will be, okay, fine, you can solve everything, I can solve everything, but I can solve more than you. So because I'm faster, so my competitive advantage is coming out of speed there. So you should have competitive advantage coming out of both things. So just go with an open mind, prepare with an open mind, prepare for both types of advantages. That's what a well prepared aspirant will do. And the fifth and last point I would like to say is the critical point on the D-Day when you go into the exam, just before your paper starts, before your time starts. You will get to know the number of questions. You'll get to know the number of questions. And you'll need to work out then and there. Once you get to know the number of questions, remember what I told you about the 50-60% strategy, scoring strategy, net scoring strategy. Work out then and there what you need to do, right? Keep a very cool mind that day. Don't get shocked by anything. Work out what you need to do. Work out your attempt rate. How at what frequency you want to keep attempting a question in the kind of exam that you're facing today, with the number of questions, information plugged in, because that plug-in will happen for at least 5 minutes before your test starts. So when that information gets plugged in, you work out your attempt rate per question, how many minutes you want to be in terms. Do you want to be a 1.5 minute per attempt situation in the exam, or do you want to be a 2.5 minute attempt per attempt exam? How do you want the section to go? And work it out for every section. And work out also how aggressively you want to go in terms of solving versus how safe you want to go in terms of solving, or you want to draw the middle path during this thing, because that attitude is critical inside the CAT. Remember that inside the CAT you normally don't solve. The toppers don't solve at one rate. They have zones. For example, when I've taken the CAT, I'm not taking it this year, but when I've taken the CAT in the past years, there have been times within the exam where I have been very aggressive for 5 minutes, 10 minutes during the paper, so that I go ahead of the time and attempt rate equation that I have. So work that out and work the attitude you want to be inside the test. Do you want to be aggressive for the first 10 minutes, or do you want to be docile for the first 10 minutes and be safe, and then you want to bring an aggression somewhere in between? So taking the CAT is very much like driving a car. You don't drive at one constant speed. You speed up when the roads are empty, and you slow down when the roads are crowded. You have to do something similar inside the CAT. Remember that, and you should be good, right? That should be good for you. And with the 5 points that I wanted to mention, please use those to soothe your nerves. And as I said, nothing, that the heavens have not fallen. If the CAT is not telling you the number of questions, go ahead, have a cool mind, prepare, and on the D-Day, execute. Right? Thank you so much. Please like and share the video, and also make sure that you comment on the video. I would be looking at all the comments, and if I feel I need to answer, I'll definitely answer your questions. And please do subscribe to the channel. We look forward to having your support as we bring you more content. And I would like to thank MBA Universe also for this article that they sent me, due to which I'm making this video. Thank you so much.